Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, and today you join me in front of the dart. Now, with all the restrictions and everything that's in order, we would have hoped by now to have the dart out on the road. However, it's still stuck in the shed. But, although videos are running a little bit slow at the moment because we're like, whoa, what can we do? Money's running out and, you know, there's only so much we can do. I mean, the B10 which is over far in the corner, which this video is going to be a two-part, and this is on this one, and then I'm going to do the second half of the video on the B10. So if you want to know about the B10, stick around for the second half. So, with all that said, this is our 1998 Dennis dart, which you've all seen before, we've already introduced. Now, in preservation, that we have to do some extra checks that owners should really do before they take the buses out on the road, as well as other bits and bobs like that. As well as normally we do our first use check ourselves anyway, and we do fill out a condition card that I take from work, or someone gets from work for. So we always fill them out. We've also got a defect book in there as well, which we can use if we need to. It's always better to do a check, and then if you ever do get stopped by Volvo at the side of the road, or the DVSA as they're now called, you can at least demonstrate that you've checked the vehicle. So, you know, if they find anything hanging off, it's happened on the way, you know. So, let's get on board. First of all, it has been running. You can see the smoke screen just over there, as I've been sat on the accelerator for about half an hour just to clear the exhaust out. So, looks like it might have worked actually, but never mind that. So, it has been running, so it has got air pressure and everything like that. So, obviously the first thing we want to do is check the oil, don't we? Ah, what I said is if it got power first, so we know it's got, we're going to know it's got power, so we'll go turn the isolator on and just do a few checks from the cab, because you can't check stuff like gearbox oil and hydraulic oil until it's running. So let's hop into the cab. Right, I do apologise for the steep angle here, but this is so you can see everything. So this dart is special in several ways, as that it doesn't actually start from the cab as it's supposed to. But first of all, let's get the isolator on, which is that one there. So that'll start everything up. For the purpose of you guys, I'm going to turn the cab light on. Now, the cab lights only work on this when you actually have the headlights on. So headlights are on, cab light comes on, so you can see. Just turn all of them off because they're all my interior lights. So we're going to check the handbrake is on, because as it builds up pressure, if the handbrake is off, it will move off. Obviously I've had this started, so that's fine. So handbrake is on. Turn it to the ignition. I've lost the light, but never mind. Checking the warning lights in. What the warning lights we have on here, which for some reason it's lost its air already. We have an alternator warning light on, which can mean anything. Let me zoom in, you can see. We have alternator warning light on, which is the battery symbol. Some models have two, there's another one around here somewhere. Cog light on, which shouldn't be on, but on this bus it is. Just gloss over that. It needs to come on for test, but it goes out once it starts. And air pressure. Little tip, anything that with brackets round it relates to brake. We're in neutral, so the bus will start. It'll start in gear, this one. And for me, my starting switch is there. Normally it's on the key here, but it's dead, so this is it. Direct link to the starter. So this is now going to build up air pressure. We don't have any oil warning lights on or anything like that, so that's good. So we will go check the oil level as we go around the back as well, but first indications is that there's no issues. That buzzer's gone off now. That buzzer is for air tanks, the auxiliary air system, because this drops pressure quite quickly at the moment for unknown reasons. So obviously from here we're going to check the lights are working, which they are. You can see that. We've got full beam. That full beam works. Oh, my hook beam suddenly started working as well. So, washers. You can see are working. Horn. That works. Obviously, you're going to be checking. I'm going to stick my hand in that hole, it'll alert. Checking your doors are working. They work. No use having them open on the road. And that's about it from the cab here. Obviously, hazard lights are working. You see all the way around. You see the reflection of it in that side. You see the reflection in the mirror of the PD there. Fog lights. Yep, they work. You see the reflection of them. And then we see how that works. Brake lights, you can check. Oh, you can see the reflection. Shut up, you tart! Reverse lights. Stick it in reverse. Yeah, I can see all them come on. Back into neutral. And we'll shut this air alarm up. Obviously, if you've got a cold bus, don't rev the arse off it because it won't be happy with it. This is not cold. This has been running for about 5 hours already today, so it is nice and warm. So, now that air alarm's shut up. So, now we'll have a quick walk round. When we get to the back, we'll check the oils at the back, making sure everything's in order back there. We haven't got a low coolant light on here, so it's got coolant. And yeah, so let's have a quick wander down the side of the bus, take some tissue with us when you're walking down. As I said, it's a normal first use check, so you're making sure there's no body panels hanging off and stuff like that, nothing loose, the tyres are fine. Now, I'm not going to go into details. First use check videos have been covered on the channel before. We get to the back here. Roughly what I'm doing. Well, obviously this is the engine bay. We all know what an engine bay looks like. We've got air filter here. Control box there. Needs a new bolt. The bits that will hurt there. We've got gearbox oil, hydraulic oil, engine oil just down there. Just there. So we're going to check all of them. So the gearbox oil, we have to do a few things first with this gearbox to be able to check the oil. So I'm just going to go through them. Got to do them when I was at the front. Well, basically what you have to do is you have to put it in drive, neutral, reverse, and back to neutral. So that builds the torque. Now I've done that, we can check the gearbox oil. You must check it when the bus is running and the box is in neutral. Check it when the box is not in neutral, it won't be very happy with you. So we'll move out into light. What we're going to do is we're going to wipe this off now. So this is ATF oil, this. We'll wipe that off, stick it back in. All the way down. And all the way back out. And we're looking for it to be in the cold. Is there. Now, as you can see, there's very little oil in this gearbox, which is why it misbehaves. There is some, so it's okay for its idling in neutral and that, and just moving back and forth, but it does desperately need some gearbox oil. That is going to be coming soon. So, if you're taking this out for the day, I personally would be topping that up. If I've not got any, I wouldn't be taking it out. Hydraulic oil, a much shorter dipstick. That one in the
same, wipe that. All the way out. We're looking to see how much oil we've got on there. Right, it's up to just there, so it's in the middle. It doesn't look very good oil. I'd be changing it as soon as possible really, but looks like it is there. You can see it clearly on the stick there, so it's between low and high. That's satisfactory. You always wipe off what's on the sticks, put the sticks in, take them back out because it all splashes about. All the way in, all the way out. So as you can see, this engine has a lot of oil in it. So much oil that I can't even see where the filter is. Yeah, so just behind here is the actual accelerator. Yeah, makes the place foggy. So, as I say, hydraulic oil is there, which is the second one we checked. Gearbox oil is there, which is the first one we checked. Engine oil, that's the dipstick there, which needs to be painted. Obviously coolant's here, but we know it's got it because we know the long coolant. That is how we would prepare the dart to go out, checking all its oil and stuff like that. See, it's an advantage for me today, because I've checked them and I know what I need to sort out. Gearbox oil, that's this dart, so I'm just going to put this one back to where it should be. And quick look in Dwarf's engine bay, because his dart is an older model, a newer model, slightly different. His isolator's cocked, so it won't start, unfortunately. So we're in. So Dwarf actually has here, I know the light's not great, but he has his engine gearbox oil here, which is labelled trans oil, engine oil there, and his hydraulic oil here. So yeah, as you can see, his engine bay is slightly different from mine. You can't really see, but yeah, his engine bay is different than mine. And the poor sucker has the full Euro 2 on it, unlike me. So we're going to head over to the B10. We're now over at the B10, and as you can see already, there's going to be a few issues with this one. Well, there's no front wheels for a start. So, yeah. But we can still do the checks and it will still run. It will just throw a paddy. It'll throw a paddy because the airbags at the front won't be doing anything. But it will start and it will run. Well, I said it'll start. It's not been run yet today, so this will be interesting of a video. So, obviously, this one you can do your checks a bit differently. There is warning lights and everything else for the gearbox on the dashboard. The gearbox fill and check is in the middle of the bus, so you don't tend to check it. So you can check it if you want, but you have to undo the trap. And the trap on this at the moment is short, so I'm not going to do it because it's a pain in the bottom to get the traps up and open. But with that said, we'll just jump in the cab and go through a few things, which is where the next problem starts. Right, well, welcome to the B10's cab. Now, the first thing you're going to very quickly notice is that you're in the place where the seat is supposed to be. Yeah, the seat is in the wheelchair bay at the moment, which it's one of them things. It's so I can mess about in here, really. So, first thing I'll isolate it on. Now, the isolator on this B10 is down in this corner here. Turns all that on. Turn the interior lights off to save some battery. Now, the B10s have a check on their ignition as well. So what you're going to do is, on the key down you have several options. You have park lights, 0 which is off, C which is check, 1 on, P for side lights or park lights, and that's your normal B. What you can do to check that everything is working is you can hold on the B10s the key in C, and with that you'll get all your warning lights on, all your buzzers going, all your warning lights here going, to make sure that everything is there. So I can see here, and you can see that all the warning lights are on. Everything but one there is out, which is fine because it doesn't have a bulb, and then you can shut it up. Now it will continue to bing because we've got several warning lights on over on the panel. So we have, my dear misters are stuck on and all. So over on this panel we have low air pressure, again simpled by brakes, which is the brackets around it. The park brake is on and active, simpled by the lights. The alternator is not charging, or is overcharging the batteries, which we know. There is a gauge here as well, just down here to tell us that. Low oil or oil pressure, so it'll come on for either low oil or oil pressure. If it doesn't go out once you've started the engine, turn it off. And this is a suspension fault down here. So with all that said, we can just quickly glance across the gauges, which you can't see because it's all dark. But we've got batteries, gearbox temperature, oil pressure, speedometer, rev gauge, fuel, engine temperature, air 1, air 2. So with all that said, the B10s are dead easy to start. Now, operators, before anyone points out, some operators have secret buttons. Yes they do. This one doesn't. You just press start and it starts as so. So with that now, we're just waiting for this to go out. Just watching it. Oil pressure has climbed, so the light's gone out. So we can't have low oil because the pressure's gone up. It's not come on, so we've got pressure and oil. Park light will stay on, low air will stay on, and the suspension will stay on until it's come up. Engine management will stay on because there's a fault. It's not done a brake test yet. Everything else we can leave as it is, and we can go and quickly check the oil because you're supposed to check it beforehand. But as I say, it's in a bad location. But there's nothing really, to be honest, to check in the engine bay in these because everything's here on the dashboard or is inside the bus. So you just do your normal first use check really for these. You can see the engine oil and you can see the water, so I'll go take you to see them now. See if it's the right level. We have a Minimax on it. But when it's running unreadable, but there's a little yellow ball in there. Just shows you where the Minimax is. That tank is highly inaccurate because the Minimax was run on by me. Water, apart from there's no warning light on, and we all know how good this bloody heap of rubbish likes to bring the coolant warning light on. We have a button for it. The button brings on the light and you can see the coolant level inside that. So if I zoom all the way in, like that, you can just about see the water level there. So that's how you check that. Normally it would be coloured,
but there is coolant in this, but it hasn't circulated the system properly, so Volvo's they love to airlock now, as you can see, which is an actual miracle. All the warning lights have gone out apart from that the handbrake is on, and I will not be releasing that. So you can get the engine management to go out if it's been reset recently by just pressing the brake pedal. Well, that's not gone out, so it has got another fault on it. Normally when it's this cold outside, it's like 3 degrees, it'll be coolant temperature too low or something like that. But as you see, everything is here, it's building air pressure. I will let it sneeze off before I decide to turn it off, because it is running on fumes as always. Yeah, it has had fuel put in it today, but no. So that is the B10. Now, those that may wonder, the red one is obviously engine stop. The one next to it, the white one, which on this doesn't work at the moment, I don't know why, I think the connection's come loose. It's only fitted to like Volvos and a few other buses. It's a cold start button. So this doesn't warm the glow plugs, where that will warm the glow plugs for you. You can keep it held in. It does drain the battery quite quickly, unfortunately. But that will help you in really cold circumstances when the engine's not been ran for ages. It will help fire the engine into life. So, but as we see, we've got no warning lights on apart from the park brake, so everything is hunky-dory. These always come on, by the way, with the handbrake on, so don't worry about that. So because I've now asked the suspension to move about and it's realised the front axle is not attached to the ground, it's going to fit. So I'm going to turn it off anyway. So it's just the red one and it will die. And it has an epic air leak at the moment, and that's the horn, which is why. But that indicator works. That one doesn't, because it's not got a sling. But we do have the panic alarm that's been fitted to it. Doesn't really say panic, does it? But anyway, isolator off. So I hope you found this very shortish video quite helpful and useful to where everything is on a B10 and the Dart. B10 not so much, it's not exactly the best example, is it? And it's all dark around here, so it's a bit difficult. But for those that want any documentation on it, you can head to mancbuses.com and click on 7176, the B10 BLE up at the top, and in downloads you'll find all the B10M and some of the B10 BLE stuff. The B10Ms, which there's one behind you, and the BLEs share a lot in common. So although it is not completely the same, you can get a lot of information from the B10M about the B10Bs and the B10 BLEs. So you can use both to sort itself out. I've been using the wiring diagrams for the B10Ms, which has fortunately I've lost now. They've gone offline and I wasn't able to copy the website down before they went offline. But I use the B10Ms to do most of the wiring and fix a lot of the wiring on this B10 BLE, so you can use them. The Denny's Dart, I think it's on there, or if not it will be on there shortly. It's the Euro 2 model that I've got, and I have got a manual for. ADL were very happy to give me the manual, which was very generous of them, unlike Allison. This also has a ZF box. The ZF box information's in there, but as I say, to check your gearbox oil in one of these, you have to take up the floor trap in the middle, and the floor traps in this need a lot of work at the moment, and they're on the list of things to be done. So that's why I've not taken you in there. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment and subscribe, and we hope to see you around for the next video. Please do make sure you share the videos. They are making a massive difference at the moment, the sharing of them, and we are growing very well. So thank you so much for your support, and we shall see you next time.
while. The famine is screaming and the bears roar out for right. Well, you will hear her coming as she is back with chrome. For cruising through the tunnels and rolling into
Not big enough.
That's what she